which methods governments use to suppress our freedoms and to take away our basic rights. I've seen all the tricks, the PR tricks, the legal tricks, the political tricks, the manipulations, the official excuses. I've become an expert at this. And the thing that bothers me most today is that some of the same tricks that have been employed by authoritarian regimes in places like Russia or China and Iran are now being also used in some Western countries. But maybe I'm exaggerating things, right? Let's look at the facts. Thousands of people are getting arrested every year in the United Kingdom for social media posts. You say something politically incorrect online, you may end up being fined or spend some time in prison. In Germany, the largest country in the European Union, people get arrested and persecuted for insulting politicians online. Thousands of people every year. You call a politician a pig or a thief online and you can serve up to 3 years in prison. So now people are afraid to use their real identities. People stop using their real names when they make comments online. And the European Commission is pushing for a new measure. A measure to require that all social media users present their IDs before they can access social media sites. Their official justification is child protection. They want to ban social media services for everybody under 16. And for that, they need people to verify their age by presenting their ID. But what will happen if social media sites are banned for teenagers? Will it bring harm or good? Actually, we know the answer to this question. Why? Because it has already been tried. This experiment has already been conducted. It has been carried on. In Russia. So Russia banned Telegram, the largest social media platform at the time, for all of its citizens, because we refused to comply with their demands for mass surveillance and censorship. However, 95% of Russian teenagers still use Telegram every month. How? They use VPNs. They bypass the entire thing. And there's very little you can do with VPNs. Russia is trying very hard. They have invested billions in trying to fight VPNs. They're banning hundreds of VPNs every month, using IP addresses and traffic patterns. They even installed surveillance hardware into every data center of every internet provider in the country, trying to monitor all the traffic and trying to prevent people from using VPNs. And they failed. Despite all this effort, they failed. The majority of the population of Russia still uses Telegram. The majority of the population of Iran still uses Telegram as well, despite the fact that Iran has been blocking Telegram for all of its citizens since 2018. So we know exactly what happens when you ban social media for part of your population. They just switch to VPN. The problem is, once we force teenagers and children to use VPNs, all kind of nasty, illegal, fringe content gets unlocked for them. Certain websites that have been banned years ago all of a sudden become available again. So the children end up being in a larger danger than they're in now. And you can ask yourself, so if this policy is destined to fail, and obviously we see how it played out in other countries, why is the European Commission and the United Kingdom and Australia and Canada and some other countries are pushing for this measure? Is it incompetence? Maybe. But the British government seems to have given an answer to this question. Publicly, they promoted the Online Safety Act as a set of laws to protect children, to force people to verify their age in order to access social media. They needed to protect children. Privately, though, they offered a different explanation. In their submission to the High Court of England, published last year, the British government said that the principal part of the Online Safety Act had nothing to do with protecting children. Instead, they said, and I quote, "The main part of the Online Safety Act was aimed at capturing large platforms with significant influence over public discourse." Now let's think about it. They used protection of children as a pretext, where in fact, they wanted more control over political speech online.